you can build an impressive short-term rental business from the ground up with a little help from John and Jeanette. These successful Airbnb and VRBO hosts have experienced and documented the blood, sweat, and tears it can take to really stand out from the pack.
Welcome to Stand Out.
Hey guys, it's John.
And Jeanette.
And today we're going to take a deep dive in the area of towels and sheets or linens in your short-term VRBO or Airbnb property that you are getting ready to go and take to market. And all I can tell you about the linen side of things is that the condition and the quality and the comfort of your linens and towels are going to be discussed openly on your reviews. So picture you're now 30 or 40 reviews into your property, and you're going to count through them. You're going to get 20, 25 times that people are talking about your linens and your property. And again, I would just ask you, what do you want them to say? You want that to be super positive? You want that to be not so positive? I think we all know the answer to that. So the right choices right now can lead to better reviews, happier guests, less phone calls, et cetera, from your guests in the long run. And honestly, I've got to give credit where credit is due here, because I have virtually no clue about sheets, duvets, towels, and some other names for things linen that I never heard of until this episode. But Jeanette was the person in our little business here that did all the research on these things for weeks, maybe months before, pulling that trigger for what we were going to use on our property. And you'll hear a lot from her today and how she got there and how she made her choices and things like that. So Jeanette, sheets and towels.
Yeah. So I did a lot of research. I mean, I obviously know a lot about sheets and towels, but having sheets and towels in your home is a little bit different than for a rental place. So first of all, you want the basics. Everyone should have a bath towel, a hand towel, and a washcloth. Now, there are things called bath sheet.
What is a bath sheet? I have no idea what that is.
So basically it's just a bigger towel. And I mean, it's really luxurious and nice, but for a rental property, I think it's not necessary, honestly. They take up a lot of room. It takes longer to wash and dry. And a bath towel really is just fine.
So what color are we talking about, all these towels and things? I remember when I was a kid, my parents had like dark brown towels and a bath mat and then some weird like fuzzy thing wrapping around the toilet lid.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's not the way to go.
No. So, and you've probably seen this in hotel rooms most of the time, almost all the time, they're white. And the reason is, well, they look clean, they're more luxurious, and also they're easy to clean. And if they get a stain, you can bleach them. So definitely go with white.
What about off-white?
They just won't look as clean. I think white is cleaner, fresher, and it'll just pop more. So I would go with white.
Okay, so any color as long as it's white. So how many towels does one human need?
You should have at least one set of towels for each guest. So that's a bath towel, a hand towel, and a washcloth. And then I would definitely have at least one extra set for each guest under the sink. Or if you don't have room under the sink, you can tuck them in a little basket. But definitely make sure you have plenty of towels. And the other thing that's important is to make sure they have a place they can hang their towels, when they're wet so they can dry.
So I hung the hook for Jeanette when we were getting set up, and it was a perfect spot for like a 6'3" tall human. So I would take it from me, because I had to move it and patch it and paint and all that stuff. Make sure the hook is at a level and a height where like a 5 foot tall human could reach up and pull that towel down. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One, let's not be jerks to our guests. But number two is if they can't reach it, they're going to tug it. And if they tug it, they're going to pull it out of the door. And now they feel bad. It's a repair for you. Put the darn hook where a 5 foot person can get to it.
Just learn from our mistakes. That's why we're doing this. Okay, let's talk about makeup. So we have white towels and they can be bleached and cleaned pretty easily, but we can go one step further and provide black little washcloths that they can use for makeup. And I have had guests personally thank us for providing those. They really like them, and I do too. So it's a simple little thing. You can find them online. And the ones I got, they're black, and they have the word makeup embroidered on them. So it's really clear what they're to be used for.
Okay, so for all the towels here, what material are these made of?
So I did some research on that, and basically you want cotton. And it depends on your rental place. If it's a very high end luxury place, then of course you're going to want the higher end towels, and you'll want to spend a little bit more money there. If you are if you've got a big beach house and you're going to have like 10 to 12 guests, you don't really need to go too crazy. I read the reviews. I wanted to have a towel that would hold up well to lots of washing and bleaching. And there's a lot of choices out there. So,
did you tell us what it was made out of, though?
Cotton.
Oh, you did? Okay.
100% cotton.
100% cotton.
Yeah.
100%. So, walk us through your shopping for your short-term rental property. It's your first time buying. How many? Just calculate that out for us. Calculate that for the group here, our listeners. How many towels do I buy?
So we have 6 maximum in
people.
our rental. So I bought 6 times 3, so 18 sets, which sounds like a lot. But the thing is, your guests, they could walk away with a towel. They could stain a towel or rip a towel. So you don't want to run out of towels. So just buy extras, and then you kind of want them to match, right? So if you have a couple of towels that get stained or stolen, even accidentally, you want to be able to have extras that'll match what you've already got. So I would say buy 3 sets of towels for as many guests as will fit in your VRBO or Airbnb.
So imagine you're showing up, you're putting out some snacks or whatever. We're going to talk about all that stuff in a later episode, but you notice, oh no, there's something on the towel in the bathroom. When you have these extras, we can grab a towel, put it in, no harm, no foul, guests showing up in an hour, nobody cares because we have that margin of extra products.
Oh yeah, and when you get real popular, you could have a lot of back-to-back guests. So you got to run in, you got to clean, you got to wash, and you got to get set up for the next guests, and they're coming on the same day. So you want to have the option to be able to just grab all the sheets and towels and take them off site and wash them later and set up for the next guest. So the more towels and sheets you have, really,
the more the merrier, basically. So let's shift gears now. We're going to shift from the towels in the bathroom to sheets. And again, just like I said in the intro, your sheets can be a make or break. As silly as that sounds coming from me, your sheets can be a make or break on your future success because of your reviews and the experience that your guests have. So Jeanette, let's walk through this.
Okay, so sheets are really important to me, so I assume they are to my guests as well. So I did a lot of research on this, and I would go with white because they look clean, they kind of have that luxury hotel vibe, they're easier to clean, and so first of all, go with white, but then also you want to think about the material. My preference is going with a 100% cotton. It's durable, it's soft, long-lasting, it's stain-resistant, and you can bleach it, so that makes it easier for your cleaners. It's breathable, and it kind of offers this kind of a cooling feeling, which is what you want from a sheet.
So I did a little research for this episode too, even though this is your area. And I did hear an interview with a guy that was super pushing some sort of a blend on the sheets. And he said they come out, you don't have to iron them. We don't iron our sheets anyway, but that they come out and look pressed and yay rayon. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's true with the rayon and those other materials, it does make them less wrinkled when they come out, but I would rather go with a more comfortable, breathable, soft feel than perfectly wrinkle-free sheets. I think we'll talk about this in a minute, but you're going to have, for your duvet cover, you might consider something with a blend material so that there's less wrinkles, and that'll make the bed look better.
Well, that's what they see when they walk in the room and get that first delight. They see the duvet cover.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to talk about that because I didn't know what a duvet was before I met Jeanette. But yeah, absolutely. Same question as with the towels. I mean, how many sheets did you buy for the place?
So again, go with 3 sets of sheets for each bed. And don't forget, if you have a pull-out sofa, you're going to need sheets for that as well. And you're going to want to make sure that they're easily found and that you have, everything you need: sheets, pillows.
So we have 3 sets of sheets in our...
Yeah. So one set is on each bed, and then you have extras that are stored in a labeled container, so that you can easily find them. But what happens is, you could arrive after your guests have left and the sheet is torn or it's stained, and now you're down to 2 sheets. And then if you have a quick turn, now you're down to 1. You don't want to be in a position where you got to go run out and buy new sheets.
And new sheets from Bed Bath & Beyond or wherever. Let's just say they don't smell so great right out of the package, do they? And now you have a guest coming in 2 hours. You're just not in a good place, are you?
The more the better, I think. And when I talked to my cleaning crew, they agreed having 3 sets per bed is the way to go. I would say, too, when you're considering buying sheets, try them out. The sheets that I bought for our rental, we have on our own bed. So I ordered some and I tried them out. I washed them and I liked them. And so I felt pretty good that they would work well for a rental.
So I learned a pro tip today also during my research, which is awesome. I have a new piece of knowledge. So we've all heard the shenanigans on advertising about thread count and, 800 thread count, 900, 1200 thread count. And so I did a deep dive on that today. And what I found out is that, honestly, the thread count for what we're all doing with short-term rental, VRBO, and Airbnb properties, really, we want to target like a 300 thread count. Why would you want 300? We don't want cheap stuff in our short-term rental. It's more breathable, right? That 300 is a looser weave. It's cooler, more breathable for the folks that stay there. And the best part is they dry more quickly. And I promise you that when you're rocking and rolling and really going in your VRBO or Airbnb property, that time is super important. Nobody wants this visual of their cleaning crew catching up on Netflix shows while the dryer runs for another hour, because you're paying for that. And that's real money.
It is. And it takes so much time to wash all the sheets and the towels. And so time is money. So we got to be smart about this. Next step, very important, duvets and duvet covers. I decided to go with duvets and white duvet covers for our short-term rental. We've rented houses that have beds with colorful comforters and lots of pretty pillows, and it might look cute, but honestly, it kind of grosses me out. How do you know if they're clean? And do they wash them after every guest?
I would just ask the listeners, when's the last time you were in a luxury hotel, you're on your big business trip, vacation, or otherwise, and you walked in this Four Seasons and there was some colorful, pattern comforter with pelicans all over it or whatever. You haven't done that. The only place you're going to see that kind of stuff is at the Motel 6. And those are honestly there so you don't see the grossness. Let's just be honest and ooh to that.
Yeah, that is gross. But I think even now in our day and age after COVID, I think almost everybody is just going with white and just simplifying things. You want to walk into a room and feel like it's clean and sanitized, and white is the way to go.
So what do we use in our place?
So I chose a duvet and a duvet cover. So the duvet, there's different kinds. You can get really heavy ones that'll obviously keep you warmer. Or you can choose really, really light ones if you're in a tropical location, say. I went with sort of a medium weight duvet.
Hey, listener, for your sake. So again, we're in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's 90s in the summer and humid. And in the winter, we can even get to freezing. It's usually more like 40, 50 degrees. So I think medium weight's probably perfect for our area. So let me just pump the brakes for a minute here, Jeanette. So you're Danish by birth, and you grew up with a duvet in your family. I was raised in Texas, and I had no idea what a duvet even was until I met you. So can you just walk us through, just describe the best you can, how does this duvet and duvet cover, and what is this thing?
Okay, that's a good point. So a duvet is like a nice fluffy blanket. And the nice thing about it is it's covered with a duvet cover that can be washed. Now, the duvet can be washed, but it doesn't have to be washed all the time if you have this duvet cover, which is just like a big pillowcase. And it can be fastened at the end with buttons or a zipper. I went with a zipper because I thought that would be easier, but no. The zippers broke right away, so don't even go there. Just go with the buttons. It is a little bit more challenging to stuff the duvet in the duvet cover, but as a guest, I would prefer that than having a blanket, which, again, you don't know. How often is it being washed? You know that this duvet cover is going to be washed every time, and that, to me, that just feels cleaner and nicer.
I've been actually barred from helping with the duvet and the duvet cover because I look in there and it's Jeanette or the cleaners, and it's like a contortionist doing a magic trick.
It is not that hard.
It's pretty crazy.
The trick is you turn the duvet cover inside out, and then you grab the corners and you flip it. And any good cleaner would know how to do it, and it's not a big deal.
And that may not be me. So you mentioned earlier, I just remember that you had mentioned that you might go with a blend for this because of wrinkles. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's going to be on top of the bed, right? So that you would probably want to have wrinkle-free. And if you use some kind of a blend fabric, then it will probably wash a little bit easier.
And all white, could there be like patterns and embossing or anything, or are you just like white slick, like an ice surface?
I mean, you could have some kind of patterns on there. I think if it's white, then you can still bleach it and clean it easier, and it just looks more like a hotel luxury feel. I know that I keep talking about white, but you can accessorize with a few colorful throw pillows, and how about a little pretty coverlet at the end of the bed?
So tell our male listeners what a coverlet is, please.
Okay, so a coverlet, it's kind of like a cross between a quilt and a blanket. It's kind of a lightweight blanket. And usually they're pretty colors. And
does it cover the whole bed?
It can, but what I would suggest is just folding it up and putting it at the end of the bed just to add a pop of color.
So that's like that little accent thing that you guys lay over the corner of the bed, kind of like swooshing across the...
That's more like a throw. The coverlet is usually folded up nice and neatly and laid across the end. And they can use it for extra warmth, but usually it's just there to be pretty, honestly.
And this is why Jeanette's hosting this podcast. I totally get it. So where do we buy all this stuff? I mean, we're talking towels and everything. Where the heck did you find this stuff? You got some secret stash that you're willing to share?
I just went Amazon. It's awesome because you can you can see everything. You can compare prices, materials, reviews. It gets delivered right to your door. And then the nice thing is you have a record of everything that you've purchased and how much you spent and all of that. So let's say you need to replace something. You can just go back to your history and find what you bought, and you can reorder.
Again. Yeah, order again. I love that. And that's absolutely cool. Free shipping is nice since we're Prime members. And Amazon, if you'd like to sponsor the show, please call me. So how do you keep all this stuff? I mean, I know the answer, but our listeners don't understand this system that you've created.
Well, I was given some good advice by a cleaning crew that I came across. And what I do is I take all of our queen sheets, and that goes in a tub labeled queen sheets. So all your pillowcases, sheets, fitted sheets, all of that, the duvet covers, they all go in the queen sheets tub. And then for my king bed, I put all the king sheets and all of that. That goes in the king sheets tub. And then I have another tub that's just for towels. And they get stacked in our little, closet for the owner's closet. Owner's
closet, that's what we call that. Well, so that is a lot. So that is the approach that we know. That's how we do things. And most of the folks we know, that's how they do them in the market that we happen to be in. But Jeanette, you mentioned there's some other ways that people handle their linens.
Yeah, and so we only have up to 6 people in our Airbnb VRBO. But let's say you have a house that's like 12 or 10. That's a lot of linens and sheets and blankets and towels. So there are other options, especially if you're in a beach town like us. There are companies that will provide the linens for you. And it was like I saw one that was kind of cool. You show up to the house and there is a shrink wrapped bundle on each bed that has a set of towels and a set of sheets, and that's it. So you get there, you put your towels in the bathroom, and you make your own bed. The nice thing is, they're clean, and everybody has their thing, and as an owner, you don't have to worry about doing all the laundry and making the beds.
Well, I personally, as a guest, I don't like that choice. I mean, I get again, we live in a tourism market here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Myrtle Beach is south of us, and Charleston south of that, and a little bit north of that, you got Savannah. So that, I get in a large beach home or something, maybe that makes sense. But I can tell you right now, me and a bunch of guys rent our house for a poker weekend or something. We're going to show up. We're going to see a bunch of sheets on the bed, and we're going to be FaceTiming you and the rest of the wives and trying to figure out how to put this stuff on. So I don't love that, but again, I see that could work in some markets. And like you said, if you arrive, particularly during COVID, I could see where it's like, wow, look how clean this is. I know it's clean. Some other human hasn't slept in this bed, and I'm crawling in after him. I mean, I couldn't sleep in a bed after my brother or sister, I don't have a sister, but slept in it. I'm kind of a germaphobe, and so that I get that part.
There are other options, though.
Why don't you tell us about those options?
There are companies that basically you just have your cleaning crew strip the beds, take out all the towels, and you put them in bags and you set them outside, and the company will come and they will pick them up and they will deliver fresh sheets and towels. So there's all kinds of ways to handle this problem.
What about you? You mentioned that there's a model that it's a head scratcher for me, but what if we just said no sheets, no towels?
Yeah, some people do that. And I remember renting a beach house a few years ago where we had to bring all our own sheets. And that was a major pain. And we could do it because we were driving, but imagine if you were flying. I mean, what are you going to do with all your sheets and towels and things? So
this is nuts. I'm just going to put out the come on, man, on this one.
No, people do that, and I was talking to somebody who had a short-term rental, and they did this where they basically said, and they were clear that they did not provide sheets. But their guests arrived. It's up in like some mountain chalet, and they get a frantic call from their guests saying, "Where are our sheets?" Well, they didn't read the instructions. And FYI, not all your guests are going to read the instructions. So this owner decided, well, I better go and buy these sheets and get them there, or I'm going to get a bad review. So she did, and but it was very stressful, and it's really not the ideal way to handle it.
I'm just speechless. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I mean, we're going to get into communication with our guests and everything else in much more detail going forward, but you could be so explicit that the entrance to the neighborhood code is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a phone call. How do I get into the neighborhood? So you drop in there that there's no sheets. Nobody's reading it. Are there sheets? I'm sure there's sheets. Everybody has sheets. Again, listeners, when you're at 6 figures in revenue for your property that you're investing in right now, and you're saving, I don't know how much, $1,000 in sheets and towels, and your customers and your guests aren't happy and they're leaving mediocre reviews, or they're calling you in the middle of the night looking for sheets and towels. I just personally think that must be some old school early VRBO and Airbnb thing that has just not flushed the system yet. That's just one guy's opinion.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I wouldn't recommend it. So at the end of the day, I would recommend talk to your cleaning crew, come up with a system that works best for you all. We have a cleaning crew that's awesome. They make sure everything's clean. They take things with them and clean them and bring them back. It works out really well with us. Sometimes they will leave sheets in the dryer because it takes a long time to dry. And they let us know, and then we just know when we're setting up for our next guest, we just pull them out of the dryer and put them in the tubs, and we're all good to go. But basically, you need to work with your cleaning crew to come up with a system that works best for you.
So we've got sheets and towels down. What about, I mean, I know there's some blankets that you keep in the closets in case it's chilly or cold.
Yeah, I like to have blankets. I like to have lots of blankets, actually. I have a stack of blankets, all different sizes and weights. That are available to our guests. And also, I like to have some throw blankets, like on the sofas, just to make it extra cozy and to add a pop of color.
So, quick germaphobe question coming. How do we keep them clean? Do we keep these blankets clean somehow?
Yeah, definitely they are cleaned regularly. And we'll have another podcast just on cleaning because that's super, super important.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's switch over to pillows. I think I've learned from being a VRBO and Airbnb host, short-term rental host, that pillows are like a religion for people.
Absolutely. And you want to have comfortable pillows because you really want your guests to be able to sleep well at night.
I mean, after sheets and cleanliness, I think pillows is probably the third most common word we see in our reviews.
Yeah, and there's so many out there. How do you choose? I did a lot of research. It's recommended that you have at least one pillow per guest. I think you should have at least 2 pillows per guest. And maybe have one that's soft and then have one that's a little more firm. And then you can kind of make most people happy.
We've actually had guests that bring their own pillows, and we only know this because one of them left the pillow in the houseboat, and we had to give them a call so we could get together and
we knew that was important to them, so we wanted to make sure they got that back right away.
So 2 pillows per person. What else is around that pillow?
Well, you want to have a nice pillowcase, and again, 100% cotton.
I'm guessing white.
It's breathable, it's soft, it's, you can clean it really well. You really want to make sure that is spotless. And nobody wants to lay their head on a pillowcase that doesn't look or feel or smell clean.
Now, we're intentionally not talking about mattresses right now, and so we'll leave the whole pillow protection out for that same episode when we get in a little deeper dive on that. But again,
Yeah, you would definitely want to have your pillows protected. You can get these zippered, fluid-resistant pillow protectors, and we can talk about that later. But absolutely imperative that you have those.
How do you feel about like these weird memory foam pillows versus, down or whatever? What did we do?
We went kind of middle of the road. We did not do the down, and we did not do the...
Well, some people are like flat out allergic to down, so there's that. We got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, we just went middle of the road. Not everybody's going to be perfectly happy with every pillow. So
white pillows, we got a white comforter, duvet cover, white. Again, we talked about that. I think you mentioned, adding those throw pillows for a pop of color. I mean, any advice on how to go there? Or are we going to save that for a design episode?
We can save it for that, but I would say keep it simple. Don't throw too many pillows on there because it's just a pain to have to deal with. They're on vacation. They don't want to have to be making a bed. So I just keep it simple, make it look pretty, definitely have some color. And the pillow should be soft, and comfortable.
We don't have a lot of pillows, but I can tell you I've been in the property many times between the exit of the guest and the clean. I usually leave Jeanette out of the home because it's not a good time for her to see the house all messy. But I will tell you that most of the time, all those beautiful decorative pillows are like stacked in the closet. They've shown up. They moved the pillows. Great. We get it. Cute room. Awesome. We'll take a picture for Instagram and then we'll move this stuff in the closet. So to Jeanette's point, I think editing and having the ability to edit is super, super critical. And again, we'll get into design and outfitting these properties in a later episode. Let's talk about robes. We're still talking about linen here. What are you pro robe or are you against robes?
I'm pro robe. However, it's not for every property. A robe to me screams luxury and pampering. And so I love that. I love to have that. And if you have like a big beach house, then putting a robe or 2 robes in every room, that seems probably not necessary. But for a more luxury location, absolutely. We keep ours hung up in the closet nice and neatly with the belt tied in a nice bow, so it's very obvious that they're clean, they're fresh, they haven't been used. One time I got to the houseboat and our cleaners had displayed the robes on a hook in the bathroom, and it looked kind of cute, but it kind of left it open to, hey, has this been used or not? So I instruct my cleaning crew to just hang them up neatly in the closet and tie that bow with the belt and just make it look nice and neat and fresh.
So are robes, is that something you would do in every property or just certain types of properties?
I would not do it in every property. And honestly, they do add more work because they have to be washed and dried. And, they need to look, need to be hung up and look nice. So if you've got 10 bedrooms, don't do robes. It would just be way too much. But if you've got a nice luxury kind of romantic spot, I definitely would do it. And honestly, not everybody uses them, but it just adds that extra little touch, makes them feel pampered. Even if they don't use them, they just feel like they're in a very special luxury spot.
So if you really think about it, with these short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, we are creating this like luxury hotel atmosphere is what we're shooting for. And again, it totally makes sense. Like, why would you put robes in sort of a family beach house? Because all the 12-year-old girls are going to wear them. Nobody else. They're going to get stained with crayons or whatever cranberry juice they're doing, and you're going to have to deal with that. But for these luxury type properties that are aimed more at couples or maybe two couples staying in the home, absolutely makes sense. Everything we talk about on Standout, podcast here is about making your property really stand out from the rest of the pack.
And if you want to go even one step further, you could provide fluffy white slippers, which would be so nice. Again, they would need to be washable, and it will add a little bit more work for your cleaning crew. So just be mindful of that.
So guys, that is Standout Hosting episode 3, linens, towels. We talked about robes. We talked about slippers, and always, we talk about how to make your short-term rental, VRBO, Airbnb property just stand out and be that home that stands out on that VRBO or Airbnb website that causes the guest to click book now. That's what it's all about. Click the book now, get the guest, delight the guest, and then get paid. So we will see you next episode. It'll actually be from Bucerias, Mexico. And that should be fun, right, Jeanette?
Looking forward to it.
We are staying in a property that I'm just finally now kind of sinking in how cool it is, and we will describe it in detail, and more importantly, talk to you about like what we liked and what we didn't like as guests, because at the end of the day, we all got to think through the eyes and the ears and the experiences of the guests. So until then, I'm John.
I'm Jeanette.
And we'll see you next time on Stand Out.